Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans. And you know, one of the real tragedies that's played out on YouTube every day is that the major political parties in South Africa, including the EFF and the ANC, have absolutely no understanding of the parliament which was created by the white person or how it works. They see the parliament as an area where you gain influence and you then go and corrupt the system. You just take money out of the system. And the biggest losers because of your actions are the very people you claim to represent. That's number one. Number two is the disrespect that many of these members of parliament actually have for the institution. You have to look no further than the EFF and the video that's attached here, and you'll see that they have absolutely no respect for the principles of parliamentary debate. It is a real eye-opener for those who understand what parliament is about. The third thing is that while the little people on the side who've been involved in corruption are spending up to 20 years in jail now for money laundering or fraud, the major politicians like Ramaphosa, like Malema, like Shivambu, we can go on. I mean, it's just about 90% of the ANC have all had their heads deep in the trough taking money out of the system, and that's why the whole of South Africa is cactus. But of course, they go after the little guy, and this is my point of my video here. I'll read to you what's happening. Independent Communications Authority of South Africa chairperson Reuben Molalonga is expected to appeal a 20-year sentence for fraud and money laundering in South Africa. Molalonga, who was appointed as chairman of ICASA in December 2017, was found guilty of defrauding the Land Bank of about 6 million rand when he was the chairperson of Parliament Portfolio Committee on Agriculture. He was sentenced alongside former acting head of the Land Bank, Philemon Malalachi, and attorney Dinga Arami Nkwashu. Chairperson of the Communications Portfolio Committee, Professor Hlawinge Mkhize, says that this has cleared the way for ICASA to restore the integrity of the organization. And he says, there were diverse views. Some members of the committee felt action should be taken irrespective of the appeal, but there were those saying, let's allow the rule of law to take its course. We really hope in the interim, ICASA will formally inform us of what has happened and their decision. And Professor Mkhize also said, basically management will have to write to us and say, councillors, receive this. This is our position. It will be the CEO who will have to write. Now, the extraordinary situation here is that you've got a scapegoat. Okay, they've identified a scapegoat. Reuben Molalonga is probably someone who blew the whistle on a couple of well-placed bureaucrats or politicians, and now he's going to spend 20 years inside a South African prison. Now, 6 million rand is a lot of money. It's about 500,000 US dollars, approximately. But you know what? When you compare the billions that, I'm talking not millions, I'm talking billions of rand that have been taken out of pension funds in South Africa by little backdoor methods by people like Ramaphosa, the president. You take the closing of the VBS Bank because of the EFF and the way they actually shafted that. And none of these politicians have even faced a charge. You take the Bosasa evidence, which went before the Zongo Commission. You know, it beggars belief. The corruption, the lack of integrity when it comes to the justice system in South Africa is quite extraordinary. You know, it is a disgrace. And let me assure you of one thing. When you start frigging around with the justice system at a political level, you destroy the whole basis of a democratic system. And I'm sure that that's exactly what the EFF want to do. They're all about socialism. And you know what socialism involves? Let me tell you. Look at Putin. Look at President Xi. Probably two of the wealthiest people in the world today, because they have been able to exploit the country's assets to their own benefit and give little back to the people they supposedly represent. And that's the path that Malema and Ramaphosa are taking currently in South Africa. Zuma's already had his shot. Now it's Ramaphosa's. And I've had a couple of videos here where you've seen how much money he is totally frauding the country out of. It's very, very sad. You know, pre-1994, with all its failings, you know, there was not any level of corruption like you've got here. I mean, there might have been a minor corruption, which was caught and people were put behind bars for it. But in the modern South Africa, if you're a senior bureaucrat or a senior politician, you can literally, just like the guys who go and do the farm murders, or they go and do home invasions and no charges are ever laid, it's like a mini example of what's going much higher up, except the amount of money involved is huge. And it's an absolute scandal. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and I hope you have a great weekend. And don't forget this Sunday night at 8 p.m. Johannesburg time, and I'll put the link below this. Okay. It looks like Philippe is going to be able to make it. Looks like the internet's working fine. And he's a lovely guy. You know, he's been with this channel now for over 6 months, helping us. And one of his first migrants out of South Africa is currently staying with him. He's offering support to them in the short term while they get settled. And there's a chance we'll be able to hear from them as well. So, you know, we're talking about a community here. Let's work together and have a great day. Bye for now.
The common denominator between the DA and the alliance partner, the EFF, is that they are both male-dominated. The EFF is in fact, since 2014, the EFF has gotten rid of 19 MPs and a countless number of councillors. Last week, true to their attention-seeking behavior, they claimed that the ANC copied their election manifesto. A manifesto which has actually been characterized as the work of crude opportunists, which is incoherent and unimplementable. Senior Research Associate Imran Bukas referred to it as making wildly outlandish promises and will bankrupt South Africa in a month, which in turn will lead to the printing of more money, resulting in an economic and social catastrophe in our country. They call themselves a government in waiting, yet behave like men children who go around beating up people. Just last week, an EFF MP, Marshal Dlamini, assaulted a police officer outside the National Assembly. We have been informed that a case has been opened in hope that he faces the full might of the law.
We're going to beat you up in the Chief's Forum.
Their chief whip, Floyd Shivambu, assaulted a journalist for just taking a photo of him.
Point of
The
order.
violent childlike
Point of
behavior.
Order. There's a point of order. Can you take your seat, Honorable Chief Whip?
What's the point of order, Honorable
The
Dozie?
Honorable Jackson.
On what
Mthembu.
rule are you
A
rising?
point of order, Honorable Speaker,
What's the point of order?
is Rule 54.
Honorable Dozie.
In terms of
this
the
is no
ninth,
time
in terms
for
of the
jokes.
9th edition. The matter of the Deputy President of the EFF is in the DC, is sub judice in Parliament. The Honorable Jackson Mthembu should know that he cannot take a conclusion, come here and mislead the country about an
That's
assault
not a-
that did not happen.
Take your seat, Honorable
Speaker.
Dozie. That's not a point of order. Honorable
Madam Speaker,
Steenhuisen.
I may only have a matric, but even I know this is a joint sitting, so it's a joint rules that we're using today. Rule 54 deals with the Joint Rules Committee. Perhaps you want to give the Honourable Ndlozi the right copy.
I think it's the appropriate one because it's about the joint rules which he must go and read.
It's not in the curriculum
Honorable
of a
Dozie,
philosophy
please take your
doctorate.
seat.
It's not in the curriculum of a philosophy
Take your
doctorate.
seat, Honorable Dozie. Please proceed, Honorable Chief Whip.
The violent, childlike behavior of these two members of the EFF is very much the character of that entire party. They are bullies who have no place in our democracy. The ANC is the only party in this country with equal gender representation. We are also the only organization with people who live with disabilities serving in government and in parliament. Our benches remain
Point of order.
the most representative
Point of order, Speaker.
of the
Honorable
demographics
Chief
of
Whip,
our...
there's a point of order. What's the point of order?
No,
Honorable
ndifuna
Member?
uxelela umphiko
Xa ufuna uxelela umntu, you don't raise a point of order.
Has the highest number of
Honourable
females in all
member,
political
take your
parties in
seat.
South Africa.
Go on, Honorable Chief Whip.
Our benches remain the most representative of the demographics of our country. That's giving true meaning to our commitment to a non-racial, non-sexist, united South Africa. The ANC is the only organization which can take this country forward. Having been in existence for 107 years, 25 of which we have been at the helm of government, we are the first to admit that we are not perfect. We do not take the voters of the people of South Africa for granted.
Honorable Chief Whip, your time has expired. The Honorable, the Leader of the Opposition.
He's the first to admit that the ANC's time has expired.